Yo, and yo, and yo. Happy Memorial Day weekend, party people. What is good? It's been a minute. Hope y'all missed my face. I missed yours. You know what it is. Coach Five's Candid Minute. We got some things to discuss. First and foremost, we got a game 7 for my blue shirts tonight against Carolina. And I'm excited. I'm nervous as hell because this second round, man, it's like the Rangers can't win on the road. We scored 2 goals, 1 to 2 goals on the road, but we score at least 5 goals at home. So literally, Carolina has beaten us in their home for 3 games. Then we beat them at our home for 3 games. Big shouts to Brian Dabo. You've been holding it down. We see you. Kaz, I seen you too, brother. Good job supporting these Rangers. That's what we talk about. So tonight at 8, man, the Rangers could punch their ticket to the Eastern Conference Finals, yo. And that would be quite wonderfully beautiful in the hockey building. So tonight, don't bother me. That's where I'm going to be. I'm going to be making my hot dogs and my hamburgers on the grill. And then I'm fully locked into my blue shirts. We're going to cause some madness tonight. Let's go, Rangers. Speaking of let's go, New York teams, I got to take a quick second to holler about my metamorphosis Metropolitans. 32-17. Just got finished sweeping them daggone Phillies last night. Yo. Buck Showalter really got this team clicking, bro. Buck Showalter really got this team clicking, bro. I mean, and this is without like our major pitching staff with DeGrom and Scherzer and Tyler McGill. When they come back, ooh wee! As long as these bats stay cooking, woo! And big shouts to my Mr. Plummer, aka Syracuse's finest, coming through with that wonderful home run to tie the game up last night. Fantastic, man. This is what you watch the game for, man. Excitement. And now, we are on to my basketball portion of the most miraculous conversation as I drop down the AC in the crizzle because it's hot today, y'all. Stay safe, stay hydrated. It is warm. So finally, game 7, Miami Celtics. Again, as a Knicks fan, I don't necessarily have love for either team, but as a fan of the sport, I definitely enjoyed this. I enjoyed their series probably more so than anybody because it was the most competitive one of them all, I feel like. And, I got love for Jimmy Butler. I really do, even though I hate the Miami Heat. I hate their franchise. I hate their GM and president. Blah. But Bam Adebayo was nice. Jimmy Butler is the freaking heart of that team. And I will say this. One thing that annoys me is just how the narrative changes from game to game. Like, when he wasn't hitting shots, oh, Jimmy's overrated, he's trash, he's this, he's that, he ain't all that. When he scored 35 points, oh, man, Jimmy's unstoppable. I told you all about him. It's like literally every day the narrative changes. And now there's a narrative that he should not have taken that shot. Have y'all not been watching the NBA for the past 7-8 years? Because that's literally what this NBA does. How many times have we seen folk pass up a point-blank shot to kick it out for somebody to shoot a 3? We shoot 3s in the league more so than anything anymore. That's what this league is. He had the fast break. he had Horford backpedaling, and there was space. He had dude falling back. There was plenty of space. All Jimmy had to do was hit the shot. If he hits the shot, maybe, and I do preface this with a maybe we're having a different conversation this morning. Because there was still time on the clock. So even if he hits that, they go up by one. Boston gets the ball back. If they score, they're back up by one. So again, it could have been a momentum shift or not. And for the folk that are saying, oh, he should have just took it to the paint and lay it up. Okay. Then they tie the game. Then Boston gets the ball back and then they score. Or because of time, y'all got a foul and now they're making all their shots from the free throw line. You just never know. So it's not like Jimmy lost the game-winning shot or anything like that. He just missed a basket. And when you're playing the way he was playing, you take that shot. You're the best player on that team. You take that shot. If anything, on Boston's side, I was actually a little annoyed with 2 minutes to go because I felt like they were playing not to lose all of a sudden. They went from playing to win to playing to not lose. And that whole thing with Marcus Smart and them letting the ball roll and no time coming off the clock, that was stupid. And from that point, it felt like they were taking the foot off the gas. And to me, that's why they got into the situation they got into. Because they elected to take their foot off the gas. I get it. Marcus Smart had like 2 or 3 open threes and missed them. I don't hear nobody yelling at him this morning about missing open threes. And he missed 3 of them. That could have literally closed the door. But again, another one of my issues is how come Jason Tatum is not taking that shot? How come Jason Tatum doesn't have the ball in his hands during that time? Again, star player of the game, MVP of the tournament, you should have the ball in your hands during those crucial moments. It's just how the game goes, And honestly, there was a really interesting debate on Twitter this morning referencing, which teams do we hate more as New York Knicks? Boston or Miami. And I'm sorry, dude, I'm a little older, so I'm going to reference this. Years ago when Ewing and them were playing and we weren't making the playoffs, that one year where we beat Boston in that 5-game series, that turned our whole hopes and dreams around. We went from being a team that can make the playoffs to a perennial playoff team after we beat Boston in that series and sent Larry Bird and them home packing. I remember that clear as day. I remember when it came on Channel 9. I remember watching the train ride into the old Boston Garden, all of that. And we whooped that ass. And honestly, since then, there really hasn't been that much of a Boston-New York rivalry. Those rivalries go back in the Bill Russell and Willis Reed days. But from the day Pat Riley quit us via fax to go and be with Miami, that has been the vitriol and the hateration of all Knicks fans since. So, yeah. Was I rooting for Boston over Miami? Heck yeah. Was I enjoying any of the rooting? Not necessarily, because of course, I want my team there. But being that they weren't, rooting for Boston and young Tatum and young Jaylen Brown and Marcus Smart, that to me was the team. And going into this, it's going 7, guys. Strap up. This playoff is going 7. At this point, I don't know, because they're both great storylines. They both have great storylines. The young whippersnapper, daggone Celtics, up and coming, Thundercats, trying to cement themselves as the stars of the league. And then you've got the tried and true Splash Brother combination. The old head Splash Brothers coming back to show that they can still do it and they can still win it high level style. So this is big for Klay Thompson, man, to come back after all of those debilitating injuries to be at a place where he could win a championship in his first year back. And you gotta love that. You know, the fact that they took the hard way. They did not draft stars in the offseason. They stuck to drafting draft picks, even though that's not necessarily what Steph and them were asking about. They still did it, and it paid off. You got your Jordan Pools, you got Wiseman in the future, you got Kuminga, and then you still got Draymond and them handling it. So it's gonna be a very fun series. I'm not expecting the blowouts that we've seen. There might be one or two, one for each team. I'll give them, just because if your threes are falling, that could really be a difference between a close game and a blowout. So I'll give them that. But other than that, I think it's going to be 7. I think it's going to be very, very competitive. I think we're going to have fun. And I actually don't mind either person coming out for the win on this one. Don't mind it at all. Hey, when I come back, we're going to be talking Steph Curry versus LeBron legacy. Monica McNutt, I love you. I hear you about the health and stuff. We'll get into all of that, but I do think you're wrong. We'll talk soon. It's your main man, Coach 5. You know what it is.